So, I'm shooting a video here. Unfortunately, my kitchen light just literally burnt out. I got some lobster mushrooms back here. Actually, the light's gonna kind of brighten everything up for me on my phone here. But yes, you can see I got a bunch of chanterelles here. They're actually really nice. I didn't expect to find any, so I just brought a backpack and didn't bring the proper stuff to put them in. So they're a little bruised up, but that's just fine. I mean, it's not going to hurt them at all. Here's a really nice one here. I clean them up the best I can. A little bit of dirt isn't going to hurt you. But what I'm going to do in this video here is I am going to show you how to preserve them for future use. So I'm going to pause this here. So what you want to do is cut your shants up into small, basically bite-sized particles here. I'm going to show you, this is the inside section of a shant. You can see it's a bright white color, and they actually smell like fruit, kind of like apricot. They have a very pleasant smell. So that's what you want to do. You want to cut them up in small bite-sized chunks like that. That's the next step. Okay, so I got a few here that I actually saved for myself that I'm gonna saute up here with some of these lobsters here in a little bit. But what I did was, you can see I have a very large non-stick frying pan here. It helps to use a really nice frying pan. This one here is very, very nice. So what I do is I'm going to turn this on high. Okay, this pan is empty. There's nothing in here but the chanterelles. Okay, what happens is I have a lid here. You can see got a lid here. What I do is I'll cover these once I can hear it start to heat up in there. I'll cover these, and it's just gonna make an oven basically, and it's gonna cook these chanterelles, and all their liquid, that's inside of them, is gonna release. And this pile of chanterelles is gonna shrink way down, and there's gonna be a whole lot of juice in there. And I'm gonna stir these around, and just a few times. And I'm actually only gonna cook these for roughly, 3 or 4 minutes. Once they get cooked down, it takes less than 10 minutes to cook them down, and they're gonna release all their juice. I'm gonna cook them down, and then what's gonna happen is they're actually going to soak the juice back up inside the mushroom. And when that happens, there's not going to be much juice left in this pan. And then what I do is I spread them out on a cookie sheet and put them in my refrigerator to let them cool down. So that is going to be the next step. I'm going to pause this again, and I'm going to show you what they look like here about midway through. Now I just turned this on high a few minutes ago, and you can already see the moisture starting to condense on the inside of this lid here. Also, what I do is I use two hands. I keep one hand in here, and actually shake them up, because you don't want them to burn on the bottom. I want to keep moving around. They're gonna start to cook down. Look at that. I'll pull the lid off quick to show you. Look at all that juice down there. Look at how far that has shrunk down already. That is literally a sea in there now. See all that juice in there? That's all the juice in the mushroom now. I usually, I'm doing this with two hands usually, and it's a lot. Now what's going to happen is, some of this stuff's going to kind of bubble out the side. You're going to have kind of a mess in your kitchen when you're done, but, who cares? You're going to clean up when you're done, obviously, anyway. You can see, gosh, look at that. Oh. Wish you could smell that right now. And the best thing about doing it this way, you can add butter, if you want, or some seasoning, to pre-season it, and just, to add to whatever recipe you want. I prefer just doing it this way, and then putting it in small packages, or I should say portion size packages that maybe I want to throw in my frying pan, or I've added it to meatloaf. I've made like a slow cooked venison in this exact pan, and Made some gravy, threw some mushrooms in with that, throw it on pizza, all kinds of stuff. You know, just thaw that package out under some cool water for a little while, and then, you know, I usually throw it in a frying pan and add some flavor, and then add it to whatever recipe I'd like to. Still, look how much this has been cooking for, gosh. And look at how much liquid is still in here. And that's that original pan that was filled to the top here. I mean, you're still gonna have, I'm guessing 5 servings out of that one batch I just found. I'm going back in a couple days. I'm gonna probably pick another 50 pounds. So I'll have some for all winter. Alright, you can see what all the liquid's been either evaporated or drawn back into the mushrooms here now. What I'm going to do is just dump this on this tin over here. Alright, got all these shants here. They're still hot, obviously. I'm just going to let them cool off here for a while. And then I'll show you how to, or you know, this is what I do. I can show you quick, but I just let these cool down. I used to put them in the refrigerator. I was told not to do that by some people because they told me the bacteria could set in for some reason or somehow for the cooling process to be so sudden. But what I do is I take some Ziploc sealing bags, obviously, something about like this. See that? And I cut them to size for what I like. And I just vacuum seal these up in here, you know, just make it portions that you can add to something, you know. Maybe you like it in spaghetti. I mean, I love it in spaghetti. Make portions you could add to spaghetti, you know. Maybe you're making small ones, but if you got, you know, a bunch of people over, you want to throw 2 bags in there. I'll show you the finished product here in a little bit. Okay, so I got my Ziploc machine here, my Ziploc bag, and my shants. They're all ready. They're cooled down. You can wait overnight, you know, or if you're doing lots of them, you can actually stack these, you know, over and over and over. And so I have my bag here. What I'm doing is I'm gonna stuff this full of, you know, what I would call a portion bag, and I will vacuum seal it. And what I do is, you know, there's some moisture left in here, and what happens is it pulls all the moisture out, and when it pulls it in, you know, there's a trap in here, obviously, where it collects all the moisture at in there, and it seals up. And when it seals up, you know, this one doesn't seal all the time, doesn't seal 100%. So what I do is, when it's done, it seals. I actually open it up for just a second, and I close it again and seal it one more time. That second seal always seals it up. So give me a minute here. Alright, you can see I got a bunch of shants in here. They're basically, these are cut up pretty fine. My other ones I usually cut up a lot bigger because I had a whole bunch to do, so I can cut them up at a later time. But like I said, I just put in the sealer here, close the corners, vacuum and seal. Oh, there's the moisture going out. Okay, now it's sealed. These are sealed nice and tight, but you can see still not sealed totally all the way. So I'm going to open this up, move this just a hair. I'm going to close it again. Just hit the seal button. There we go. That second time always seals it up. So there you go. Got both seal marks on this bag here. You can see this is vacuum packed very nicely. This will literally last a year in your freezer. I will show you a package of mine from last year. So fresh chanterelles from, you know, today. My chanterelles from last fall. See that? They stay perfectly well. I like to run them under cold water to thaw them out. Add them to whatever you want. And that's how I preserve mine. I mean, you can see I cut these ones bigger last year, but these ones here I cut them a bit smaller this year. And a lot of people will saute them in butter and onions, you know, to already give them some flavor. I don't mess around. I just throw in the frying pan, boil them down like this, and then I can add whatever flavor I want when I'm done, when they thaw out. So, thank you much. I hope you enjoyed my video.